Kia ora, my name is Craig Muller and I was lucky enough to be APEC concierge for APEC 2021 in New Zealand. I kind of somehow fell into the role of APEC concierge in APEC 2021. I really was just brought in to do some quick testing before the meeting started, kind of for the first time. But after an hour or so of, sir, you're on mute, can you unmute? And a little diplomatic incident, having to get some flags moved out last minute before the meeting started. I think that was a bit of Kiwi banter. All of a sudden, we started to think, hey, actually, maybe there is a role here and we should be having someone do this as part of all our meetings before they start. So that was the birth of the APEC concierge. Obviously, the world was well into the pandemic, so I think there were a lot of people who were used to meeting online, but there were also a lot of people who weren't. So we got people in, we allowed them to test their presentations, made sure their mics were good, made sure their backdrops looked good, and most importantly, the framing as well, to ensure that on the screen, everyone looked exactly the same. The thing I really got out of these sessions and these meetings that I had before the actual official meeting started was people genuinely wanted to connect. They wanted to talk to each other. So I made sure I didn't get in the way of a lot of those conversations that were happening before the meeting that you'd imagine would happen in a real live face-to-face meeting. And you know, one of the things that really came through from me and from New Zealand is that our manaakitanga really came to the fore. We're friendly people, and I wasn't trying to pretend to be anyone that I wasn't. I was being Craig, and really, you know, that's how strong relationships and bonds started to occur between me and a lot of the delegates, but also amongst the delegates themselves. As the year progressed, when people were coming on the calls before the meeting started, it wasn't just work stuff, it wasn't professional stuff that people were talking about. There became a real sense of people in the APEC community checking in on each other, real genuine connectivity and care for each other wherever anyone was in the world. And I thought that was actually quite an interesting thing to see as the year unfolded. When I finished the last session literally in here on Saturday the 13th of November at 3:30 a.m. in the morning, I was just like, I am so glad that this thing is done. But it didn't take too long, a couple of weeks. Dare I say it, I actually started missing my interactions with all the amazing people from around the world. And I actually genuinely miss seeing all those people, even in the middle of the night at those ungodly hours. Having to tell my kids to get off Netflix because Dad's got to do an APEC meeting. Got lots of rolled eyes, that's for sure. But I think we all had our own challenges, and what I love about what New Zealand was able to do as part of our host year is we all dealt with them in our own ways, and we really just reinforced the manaakitanga of New Zealand as a whole, and I'm super proud of being part of it.
Join, work, grow together. Haumie, huie, tai ki e.